Wait, are EUC manufacturers actually listening to us? Well, welcome to Wrong Way! And today, I'm gonna tell you more about that.
Wrong way.
As you can tell, it's getting gloomy and cold in Warsaw, but I'm very happy to be back on a V14, now equipped with a Grizzler Kit, bearings, a seat. Check it out at Grizzler's site. There's also a coupon code WRONGWAY to get a discount. The pads I use are kinetic pads. And of course the wheel, the Emotion V14, is available at One Ride, also with a discount code. So yeah, today I wanted to talk about weight, and I think we got the first glimpse of weight shavings with the Veteran Lynx. Whoa, slippery! And whilst in many videos I was complaining that EUCs are just getting too heavy and a bit too wieldy to ride, you know, off-road, too heavy to brake on, too heavy to accelerate on, the Lynx was kind of special in that regard because it had the same weight as the Paton, which had a way smaller battery, a smaller wheel diameter and a smaller footprint. So I feel like this was the first stepping stone of addressing riders' needs, which are having a lighter electric unicycle. But of course, when it comes to weight with electric unicycles, you always had to go into compromises. You want to have the toughest build quality? Well, it will be a bit heavier. You want to have the biggest range? Yes, you will sacrifice on weight. But at the same time, you will also lose out on controlling the EUC during turns, accelerating, braking, and I feel like now is a great time where EUC manufacturers really start to focus on both and make the compromise more in favor of the lesser weight. So in today's video, I'm going to tell you about the most exciting releases in the major electric unicycle companies. So Veteran just announced the brand new Veteran Paton S, which is a lighter version of the Paton. But the great thing about it is that they shaved about 3.5 kilos from the wheel, which already was feeling really light before. I'm super excited about the new technological advances of that wheel. We have a smart BMS finally, there's some more anti-static tech, and maybe the board, the controller, will be a bit more advanced than what we have seen on the Lynx and Terminal previously. But yeah, if you have a 16-inch wheel, just like for example the V14 here, it automatically feels a lot lighter, and that they could shave the Paton to 36 kilograms is really awesome. Much better for off-roading, much better control in turns, accelerating, braking, etc, etc. The only thing that I am kind of sad about here is that they still didn't change the suspension. Still 80 millimeters of travel. I mean, how hard can it be? Can you just please put the Lynx suspension into the Paton? It would be so much better. So at 36 kilograms with the 2200 watt-hour battery and the bigger durability of Veteran wheels, at least in the mechanical regard, but also electronical kind of too, I'm pretty excited about this wheel and I'm glad that they went this direction. I just hope they didn't shave too much in the weight so there aren't any sort of critical structural parts that are too weak. On to the next brand. Now when it comes to Bod, they always release plenty of wheels, but the ones that I am actually most excited about in terms of the weight category and ride feel has to be the Blitz and the Bod Falcon. I know those wheels came out already a while ago and plenty of people got to, you know, test them out already and check them out, but dude, for me, the Blitz is just such a game changer in terms of weight, and especially the weight of the motor. So because they went to a narrower motor there, a C32 motor, which still has plenty of torque, this wheel just feels so different than everything else in the game. And while I have the X-Way and I have been testing it, video on that will be out sometime soon, maybe next week, the X-Way just, it doesn't give me the same sensations as the Blitz because it's 41 kilograms, and there's a couple other things going against it too, but I won't go too deep into that either. So with the Blitz, I think it's just so amazing that they stuffed a 2400 watt-hour battery into a 36 kilogram body without any major drawbacks when it comes to, you know, build quality, features, etc, etc. And they even have more suspension travel than Veteran. That's super awesome. And this wheel, I'll keep saying it, when you push it, it just feels so different than anything else on the market. And here, oh, can we go up seated here? Can we? It's a 30-degree incline. Seated incline. 16-inch wheels just feel always so small. Actually, can also go down. And look at that. Now we will be stopping. V14, one of the best wheels to do that on. And we're going back up again. Oh yeah. Blitz is still like one of my number ones here on the lighter weight wheel category, even though, you know, 36 kilograms isn't that light at all, but lighter than other wheels that have been released with this spec in the past years. And the Falcon is also super exciting because it just weighs 26 kilograms, and that wheel just brought so much fun factor into my life. Whenever I go out with the Falcon, I just have fun, I do spins, I do jumps, I just try a bunch of stuff, and this really brings me back to the root of EUC riding. So while I made so many videos in the past years when I was complaining that we need just lighter wheels, I think like finally we're getting there. All right, now let's talk about emotion. Now, InMotion did come out with a lighter EUC recently, which is the E20, but that is not really an EUC that I would take, you know, for longer rides than 10 kilometers. So I just take this as a practice EUC or a learner EUC. But what they're coming out with is a InMotion E25. And from, you know, what I know is that it should be actually lighter than the Big Goat Falcon. So the Falcon will have a competitor in its league, and that is super exciting, and I think that will bring maybe a lot of new riders into the game that don't want to spend all that much on EUC, don't need so much range, you know, and most importantly, don't need such a heavy EUC. Like, I never really take any other EUC into my car other than the Falcon if I don't actually need a, you know, performance-oriented EUC. So the E25 will have suspension. It will be a pretty big footprint. If you look at the wheel from the side, it's a 16-inch wheel, like the V12, and the Samsonite-inspired box around it will be bigger than the tire, so it will be a much bigger EUC than the Falcon, sadly. When it comes to performance, I think we'll top out about 40 kilometers an hour, super quick, fast charging, and hopefully a good price tag that goes along with it. I would say, you know, below 2,000 euro would be amazing. 1,500, like, that would be great. That would be really great. Hopefully the quality and you know, the ride of this wheel will be nice, and the suspension too. We'll have to see about that. But nevertheless, another light wheel by InMotion. Finally, we'll have another choice at the InMotion lineup of wheels in a lower price category with suspension than the V11. Super cool. Now, the last company I wanted to talk about is none other than Kingsong. And let me tell you, back in the day, the 18XL, the 16X, the lighter wheels were just a staple of Kingsong. And I feel like when they tried to do a bit more performance-oriented wheels, that was really not up their alley. And if we remember all of the issues with the S22, the bolts breaking, etc., I feel like Kingsong is really the best in making commuter wheels, or like trick wheels, rather than making high performance wheels. I feel like that's where they need to go. But for now, we are getting the F22 Pro, which is like basically it's like an ET Max pretty much, but with different suspension. That's too heavy. Like that's not a lightweight wheel, so I won't talk about that too much. But I hope that they have something lighter up their sleeves. For me personally, Kingsong, if you would just make the 18XL with a hollow motor, perfect, with some like minor improvements in the chassis design too. They are also improving the S18 with different batteries, but those aren't really new wheels. So Kingsong, if you have something in the works that is lighter, that is you know, cheaper, then I think that will be super exciting. Now, of course, they came out with the S16, which is sort of in this price category, and that was a great wheel for me to ride, but it just did have a bit too many issues. So once those issues will be resolved, and I hope they will be, this is another super exciting wheel in the lighter weight wheel category, but it's still like 32, 33 kilos. I guess for the performance you're getting, it's still a tad on the heavy side. Same with the S19. I think the S19 is like 34, 35. And then when you have the Blitz at the same weight, or pretty much the same weight, well then we have we have a bit of a big gap in terms of performance. But yeah, with that said, I feel like the trend of making lighter wheels is actually following through. And I'm super excited to see all of those new wheels that I've mentioned in this video. But there is also some things that I would like to see that I don't know if they're in development in the major EUC manufacturers' laboratories. And that is a lightweight wheel without suspension. It would be much cheaper, much less maintenance, much lighter, much smaller. And I feel like that is precisely the niche. Like whoever makes this wheel first, like a 1500 watt hour or 1800 watt hour wheel without suspension, that still has like great performance and great features, like I think that this will be the money maker. I feel like this EUC would make a lot of people interested into buying one, because right now, if you're, you know, willing to try an EUC, you first have to overcome the hurdle of learning it, of deciding to take it over an e-bike, over an e-scooter, over, you know, 1500 IKEA hot dogs. And if you would just make a, you know, 1200 euro EUC without suspension, really basic but durable, with really decent specs, like I would be all for it. I'm actually looking since a long time to get myself either an RS with Samsung batteries to sort of fill this void I have in my heart for non-suspension wheels, or a Extreme Bull XM. By the way, both of those sadly do not have a smart BMS. They do have some basic safety though. Or a Kingsong 18L, even though, you know, there's a pretty weak axle there, or that maybe it will hold with me, maybe not. I would just like to have something reliable, new, and with good tech in this sort of both price category, I would say around 1500 euros below, and performance category. You know, there was the Tesla T3 back in the day. Lots of people bought that because it was just like lighter and cheaper. All of the lighter Emotion wheels still have, you know, a very basic axle, no hollow motor, so I can't really buy any of that. Same with the Kingsong wheels, although the 18L is just such a good wheel. I might even get that anyway. At Begode, we do not have the T3 anymore being made, so that's out of the way. And all of the other wheels either have suspension or they're like 700 watt hours, like the A2, M105, M104, etc., etc. So yeah, at Begode we don't really have a choice either. At Veteran, they don't even make the Veteran Sherman Max anymore, although I feel like that wheel was already too heavy. So for me, really, the last couple of weeks or even months, I've been craving a under 30 kilogram heavy wheel, best around 20 kilograms, because you can have just so much fun with it. It's so much easier to explore cities. It's so maneuverable. You can make so many tricks with it. Yeah, I do really miss the days of where this wheel was sort of the benchmark, and I feel like we're getting there. I feel like we will be getting back there, and I'm super excited to see such a new wheel on the market right now. So with that said, I hope you like this video. And if you did like it, leave a like on it. Comment below what you would like to see in the EUC market. What would be the perfect wheel for you to be made in the short-term future? And if you're still here, subscribe as well, and take care. See you in the next one.